people, it's Dante. Ricoh GR3, small JPEG, high contrast black and white, P mode, infinity, snap focus, point and shoot, man. This is the solution. I can't stop photographing. Why, you may ask? Who knows? I mean, I've been born and raised to make photographs. I can't stop. Every morning I wake up, I'm walking down the street just trying to get to the river, and I've already made like 120 snaps. You know, there's just so much potential within everyday life, and yeah, I'm trying to perhaps get to the root of the medium of photography. That's my new audacious goal. How to achieve this? Make more pictures. Freezing cold today. Very cold. 28 Fahrenheit, something like that. Bundled up, hood up. Now I feel nothing. Yeah, it's nice. Here's the construction site as usual. Schuylkill River Trail, GoPro Mini, 1080p, 30 FPS, exported to 720p for that crispy HD small file size quality. Woke up this morning thinking of this notion of ascesis training. Undergo some ascesis training. What is ascesis? I believe in Greek, ancient Greek, it is essentially meaning exercise, self-discipline, adopted by Christianity, asceticism. I feel as though asceticism is sexy, right? To sort of, you know, the way that the Christianity sort of adopted ascesis and this notion of asceticism is through fasting, spiritual growth, prayer, stuff like this, which is cool and all, but I actually I actually don't even think you need to consider like this sort of asceticism this way, but merely just a way for you to improve, right? So like every day, I believe that the goal is to lose body fat, lose adipose tissue, and gain skeletal muscle mass. You know, ultimately, physical flesh, physical life, real life, your body is supreme. And perhaps in this modern world, we neglect this notion of the body being your soul. And actually, the body is democratic, so we can all become beautiful Spartan demigod physiques and look like a Greek sculpture. Very simple, just 100% carnivore diet mixed with exercise, mixed with some sort of weight training, right? No running, only suckers run. I find that running is self-flagellation, and it also just looks really silly when I watch people running and jumping all around. It's like, what are you running from? Running from a bear, a lion. Maybe it's something that's just ingrained in our DNA to run. It's like fight or flight, fear mode. This is cool. I never noticed this. See, like every day, what's amazing about embracing the snapshot and just sort of pointing your camera around and poking around and looking at things and photographing things every day at the same place is ultimately you'll find new ways to view the world and unlock a different perspective. I actually believe that, you know, anyone and everyone can become a street photographer, where it's merely an ethos, it's a way of doing things, viewing the world and going out there and exploring. And because it brings me such passion and joy in life, and I have this like insane lust for life to just wake up with my eyes wide open and explore each day, it makes me super grateful for the mundane things like the grass on the ground, the river, the sun, the moon, the simple things in nature where everything's connected. And to recognize this connection between humanity and nature itself is something that brings me joy and bliss. And for this, I would love, as one of my goals before I die, to create this approach that is so simple to street photography that more street photographers will be born into the world, essentially. I actually believe that would be an interesting thing, to sort of make this process so easy and accessible that anyone and everyone can come out here and explore with their camera and just fuel their lust for life through the medium. You know, that's an audacious goal. to think about. I would like to see more street photographers be born into this world. And actually, yeah, perhaps the goal of humanity is this. It's to reproduce, is to, you know, procreate, however you want to think about it, beget a child. You know, what is the goal of humanity? It's to evolve, it's to go beyond, to transcend. And so the more I think about this, yeah, the more I tap into sort of our biological nature as humans. Yeah, reproduction seems to be wise. I think going forward to only use sex for this is probably the way, in order to propagate the species. Where, if you consider the movie WALL-E, right, where you know, there's that robot WALL-E, he's there to save the day and to think of the world this way is kind of comical and fun and dystopian, and I like it. It's kind of interesting where, you know, the earth is destroyed and everyone's on a spaceship flying around in space, and everyone's extremely obese, and the computer technology is essentially the captain of the ship, where the captain is so overfat that he can't even operate the computers, and the computers take over, and everyone's being fed food and just sitting in their little hovercraft chairs being blasted into space, and they can't even, you know, take care of themselves, essentially. Like, this could be the dystopian future of our lifetime. Like, maybe in 30-40 years you'll see an incredible increase in obesity to the point where we won't even be able to do anything. Where I look around at the art museum, right, and I look around at the city hall structures and things, and I'm like, why can't we build this anymore? Why do we, you know, just sit inside the offices and operate the computer technology these days and do sort of like busy work to generate some sort of like money? It's just funny. It's like the new goal of the year with this aesthetic training, guys, is to don't buy anything. Can we go a whole year without buying anything but meat? Yeah, I think so. There's nothing to purchase. The only thing that humans need is meat, salt, and water. I mean, really, and shelter. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, so just yeah, 2024, don't buy anything. Yeah, it's a good thought. Asceticism is sexy, but the point is, you know, everyone can live their lives the way that they would like to, indulge in whatever you'd like to, buy the cool thing, you know, flex whatever you'd like. But I actually believe in this notion of flexing your human body, where, yeah, maybe it's seen as like immoral to showcase your body nowadays or something, especially in the public sphere. Oftentimes in the summer I walk around topless this past year, and it's just like you're the only one doing it, and everyone's kind of just like baffled by it. But actually embracing it, where, you know, people want to purchase some sort of clothing item, some sort of car, some sort of thing to then signify their wealth or their, you know, status, you know. But actually the ultimate privilege is having a beautiful body, and so flexing your body, I think, is more virtuous than flexing some sort of superfluous thing like a Lamborghini, right? The loser Lamborghini. Yeah, so that's just a thought about the body, where, yeah, anyone and everyone can become beautiful, and anybody can become a street photographer. Yeah, just grab a camera and go. Even just use your iPhone. I mean, honestly, at this point, the cameras that we have are so compact and so easy to use, which is great. I think it's a beautiful thing. I really do. Yeah, I think it can be used even as a professional tool. There's so much capability with it now. Even when I was doing some work as a photographer, I was making photographs using portrait mode. They come out beautiful. Like, I didn't even need to use a real camera, right? What is a real camera? A real camera has lots of dials and knobs and lenses to change. I also really believe in this Instax camera thing, where when I travel abroad and go to new places, I always bring it with me. That way, You know, it transcends language, it transcends the language barriers, cultural barriers, etc., where if you can actually gift somebody on the street an Instax print in the moment, you will be blessed with this door that will quite literally open up, right? Where you will be open, you know, their doors will open. You'll be invited into someone's house. You'll be invited to drink some tea. You'll be invited for coffee. You'll be invited to the wedding ceremony. You know, just gifting the photographs themselves will open up this door where perhaps photography, it unlocks so much potential with life itself and so many different sort of storylines you could take with it, where it's like the pictures you make and the places you explore lead you to this new chapter in life. Every day it's a new day. Every day is an opportunity to learn and grow, and I think that through exploring the streets with the camera, you will be surprised at what you will find, where the more I photograph, the more I am connected with life itself, and the more that I'm embracing the now. And this to me is a good goal, especially in this hyper fast paced world that we live in, where it's always go go go, workflow. Yeah, I say go slow, in the Zen zone, and take in every moment. Watch the birds, you know, look at the color of the sky. Look at that beautiful pink gradient and that plane flying by. Yesterday, sort of listening to this conversation behind me, I like when I'm in a, you know, I was having a seat sitting down in the Chinatown and just listening to the conversations about artificial intelligence around me. You know, how can we use this in the workplace? And people were talking about it, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, I mean, this is the future. Yeah, we should definitely be using this. But then they were like, well, what about the Neuralink? And then the students are going to get Neuralink in college, and they're going to have all this information and blah, blah, blah. It's like, what do I think about Neuralink? I think it's cool if you're blind or have some sort of problem that needs to be fixed physically, and it can assist you. Otherwise, I mean, merging with the machine, that hardcore seems to be a little bit weird. We may see this in 30 years. We may see a actual like transformation in humanity, which is crazy. And I mean, I'm pretty sure we'll see it. You know, sort of like transhumanism or something like this, where we just sort of completely merge with the machine, and then, yeah, we're no longer humans. Yeah, I don't know. The only difference right now is the bandwidth between us and our iPhone. So we have the phone in the pocket. You know, we can use the voice dictation, ChatGPT, all these things, and learn instantly with intelligence. However, what does that make us? Cyborg? What is a cyborg? I guess a cyborg has merged with machines. So I feel like we're already there. I mean, which is fine too, because we have to evolve as a species, but I think that we must remain human at a certain point where, you know, to focus on your physical body, to focus on your strength and your training in real life is really critical, where the real world is for us to explore and to conquer. I see the city and the sort of landscape of Philadelphia, New York, Chicago, wherever you are in the cities, it's becoming the sort of digital landscape of operating computer technology. If you ever walk around a city during lunch rush, you'll notice everyone's plugged in with AirPods. I mean, it's inevitable, right? The phone calls, where I don't even trust a phone call. It's like, I think the only thing you wouldn't, you know, a FaceTime maybe. You know, can you fake a FaceTime? Probably. But in terms of phone calls and stuff, like, you see people walking around with AirPods in. My simple heuristic is, yeah, don't trust anyone that wears AirPods or sunglasses in public. Anyone that is sort of presenting themselves with some sort of antisocial behavior, I say just avoid them, ignore them. Yeah, that's my simple idea here. It's like, yeah, why ignore people with AirPods? Maybe it'll wake others up. Because what happens is there's like this like fucking funny idea I have. It's like, is anything really happening in the city? It's like, I don't know. I just like to speak with the janitors and the security guys, the police officers, anyone that's doing something like physical or beautifying the city, keeping it clean. Like these are the people that are actually doing things, it seems, and they're the ones worth championing. Like yesterday I was looking at this, like the cars they use to clean up the streets is like really interesting. It's like those like street cleaner cars that they drive around and clean up the streets with. And I saw the guy, I was like, yo, is that fun to drive? He's like, yeah. I was like, you guys do such a great job. Like, after the Mummers Parade, they clean up so well. It's insane. They clean up in like an hour, and then all of that parade mess is cleaned right up. It's like, it's pretty awesome if you think about it. The people that are cleaning up and the people that are keeping the city afloat, I believe, are worth, you know, our attention, you could say. Here we come towards the, what is this, MLK Boulevard? Martin Luther King Jr. Drive, the MLK Drive, Dr. Martin Luther King Drive, the West River Drive. This will hopefully open by summertime. I like to ride my bike here in the summertime. This street actually closes off, and sometimes, like I think on Saturday, Sunday, maybe on the weekends, the whole road closes and there's no cars, and it's perfect for cycling. You can just sort of enjoy the street. I actually believe that the change of seasons, like, it's kind of nice. I think like there's something in us, you know, there's some like emotional feeling we have that I'm trying to think about, right? Where when it's summertime, I mean, personally, when it's summertime, it's like really, really hot out. I like it. I like if it's humid. I don't care if it's really hot. You know, I was in Italy when it was like 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Extremely humid in August, whatever, and I freaking love it. I thrive in it. It's amazing. I love the heat. Bring it on. But even so, you will find yourself longing, right, in July and June for the fall. At least this is my idea, right? I find myself longing, like wishing for the fall to come. And then when it's fall, you're kind of like cozy, and it's like the leaves are changing colors, and it's like, I believe, the perfect season. I love fall. It's amazing. You know, around September, October, and there's just something about it. I really can't explain it. It's like those emotional feelings that are hard to explain, but it just makes you feel cozy. And then even so, you're longing for the winter. You're like, ooh, I can't wait till it gets cold. There's like something about that, like for me, right? Most people are like, oh, I don't want it to be cold. But for me, I'm like, oh, I like when it's cold. And then I put my jacket on, right? And it's like, you embrace that. And it's like, change, I think, is inevitable and good. And so embracing the chaos and the change of the seasons, there's something about the emotional response, at least I feel, when the seasons change. And it's always like, it's like this weird, like a loop. It's like a loop where the years go by and you long for these different seasons and change, and it just sort of keeps you grounded in reality. And now in the winter, of course, longing for the spring. When the spring comes and the leaves bloom and the change of seasons occur once more, I find myself riding my bicycle more, enjoying my t-shirt and short weather. And you know, there's something about the change of seasons, embracing them. Sure, here on the East Coast in Philadelphia, we do have a very long winter. It's now January, February, March. We have like 3 or 4 months, 5 months, 6 months of cold weather, right? Like half of the year essentially is really cold. And you know, I think to embrace it with open arms and to sort of find yourself cozy in a coat, to find yourself still lusting to go outside and to remain in this outdoor open world, right, where the world is open for us to conquer and to explore, thinking about the open world concept, where the road is endless to traverse upon, where you can live until you're 120 years old and still not see the entire world. I mean, what a beautiful thought that is. You could live a long and full life and still not see everything. And that's what keeps me lusting for everyday life, where the mundane, everyday moment becomes something to cherish and to uplift with my camera. So here I am, morning in Philadelphia, and I love to start the day off at these elevated spaces and to admire beautiful architecture such as this museum, these bridges, these stone bridges, and to just look out and to shut down my mind after making these little videos and just sort of meditate and think upon the beauty, to just look at the beauty where you're not even really thinking, you're just like, you're kind of just looking at it and you're just like, wow. You know, that's what I kind of like to do when I come over here, and I just kind of find myself in this state of gratefulness, and I think that is good. It's like, wow, isn't life so grand, you know?